Tonight on the MTN News, expressing concerns.
It's not some radical left ideology that's driving this. I think it's the real people in the state of Montana.
Yes, we have a responsibility to turn down the temperature, to be full of self-restraint and humility, to try and speak with each other in a way that recognizes the difference of opinion and respects it.
Hundreds show up in Billings hoping to get the ears of federal representatives. Also, growing optimism.
Anything that can get more American lumber sold is a good thing.
Could Trump's tariffs help renew Montana's logging and timber industry? And
my motto is helping them turn their lemons into lemonade.
One woman's wigs making a world of difference. The MTN News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
A good evening and thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Russ Riesinger. It's been a common scene lately, lawmakers facing angry constituents at town halls across America. A large crowd voiced frustrations and concerns in Billings tonight, mainly over what they consider overreach by President Trump and his wingman Elon Musk. The Lincoln Center was filled with folks for a town hall hosted by the group Yellowstone Indivisible, which says it invited Montana's federal representatives to discuss the current state of our constitutional republic. All declined, but as Marcus Kakova reports, those in attendance are hoping their voices will still be heard.
It's a sound seemingly heard at town halls across the country. And tonight, in Billings, the booing boiling point over President Trump, Doge, and their cuts has three names.
During congressional recess, when our senators return home to their states and our representatives return home to their districts, they meet with their constituents to have a conversation.
But Steve Daines, Tim Sheehy, and Troy Downing declined to show up. In their place, three signs.
I just thought do something really nice that would honor them and truly invite them to be here. It's not some radical left ideology that's driving this. I think it's the real people in the state of Montana.
Senator Sheehy provided a statement to MTN about his decision not to attend, saying in part, "No, I will not legitimize a radical group that wants to defund police and abolish ICE. This is not a town hall. It is a left-wing political rally organized by Indivisible." But organizer Elizabeth Clarich says, though the sponsoring group, Indivisible, does make its political opinions known, her event is intended as a space for all viewpoints.
I'm not in favor of defunding the police any more than I'm in favor of defunding the Department of Education or ending USAID or having people that are not elected officials go into our Social Security Administration and go through the computers and get all our personal data.
Senator Daines' office notes in a statement to MTN, however, the organizers do not unilaterally control the senator's schedule. And just as the members of this organization were told when they called the senator's office,
just calling to let you know that he will not be attending your town hall event. Thank you so much for the invitation, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye.
As a show of bipartisanship, also in attendance tonight, former Republican governor of Montana, Mark Roscoe.
I attended every event I was invited to.
He says, though tensions are high, it's the responsibility of the representatives to show up, as it's the public's duty to give them the time to talk.
Yes, it is angry. Yes, we have a responsibility to turn down the temperature, to be full of self-restraint and humility, to try and speak with each other in a way that recognizes the difference of opinion and respects it.
As for the organizer, she says clarity was the expectation from the start.
You can expect respect, decorum, and a desire to converse in a way that everyone feels heard, both our representatives and their constituents.
Marcus Kakova, MTN News.
There's been a lot of concern about the effect President Trump's tariffs could eventually have. But for one Montana industry, the tariffs are providing some new optimism. David J. is looking into what it could mean for our logging and timber industry.
We're here at Montana Custom Millwork, which makes specialized products. The owners say, well, it may not directly affect this business. They do say that tariffs could have a big impact and help keep the lumber and timber industry viable.
I used to just come and sit in the sawmill and have my morning cup of coffee because the smell of fresh cut wood is so good, you know?
Nick Chason and his wife own Montana Custom Millwork.
I love sawmilling.
He says potential tariffs would help the bigger sawmills, along with the rest of the timber and lumber industry.
When the tariffs come into play, it levels the playing field for American sawmilling.
The National Association of Home Builders states that lumber and wood products account for 15% of construction, and tariffs would add more to the costs. Jason Todhunter of the Montana Loggers Association says lumber and wood account for between 4% and 18% of the costs.
It is going to drive the house up a little bit, but if you look at the whole picture, I don't think it would have as huge of an impact.
Tariffs are only going to add 15 cents more per board foot to a stick of lumber.
Both Chason and Todhunter say the U.S. will not see much effect until the demand for housing increases.
If the demand is there, you know, the U.S. worker and the U.S. businessman usually answers the demands.
Those in the industry say the tariffs will keep many sawmills and loggers in business.
If the larger sawmills in Montana aren't buying enough logs to keep the loggers busy and we lose loggers, then our business will lose loggers as well.
The American Loggers Association estimates 50 sawmills have closed since the beginning of last year, but says that list may not include all the closures across the country. Todhunter says that number is higher.
It's well over 100 large mills nationwide have gone down, you know, in 2024.
Todhunter and Chason say the tariffs will help the U.S. economy.
Canada is definitely a competitor with the U.S. for logging and lumber. If a tariff goes on them, it makes the U.S. product more attractive and makes the consumer choose that.
The whole point of the tariffs is to bring manufacturing back to the United States and put more money in American pockets.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
Tonight we are learning new details about a Byron, Wyoming woman who shot and killed her 4 children before turning the gun on herself, as a coroner now confirms Tranielle Harshman had large amounts of ketamine in her system when she died. Bighorn County Coroner Bill Brenner says in addition to ketamine, Harshman also had clonazepam, an anti-anxiety drug, in her system. Family and friends of the 32-year-old tell MTN she was suffering from depression, including postpartum depression, when she killed her children. Family also tells MTN Harshman was undergoing ketamine treatment at the time. Ketamine, developed in the 1960s, used to be used as an anesthetic, often given to soldiers injured on the battlefield. Today, it's sometimes prescribed as a promising treatment for severe depression, but has been known to have severe, often hallucinogenic side effects. The coroner's office also confirms that Harshman's 4 young children all died of gunshot wounds to the head, and all 4 were given large amounts of the main ingredient in Benadryl, which is known to cause drowsiness. Pine Hills Correctional Facility near Miles City is resuming its status as a juvenile-only facility. This as a noticeable shift of violent crime by juveniles has some Montana officials concerned. In recent years, Pine Hills has held juvenile and adult males, but the Montana Department of Corrections has now relocated the adult male population to other facilities across the state, opening up space to include the return of juvenile females from an Idaho facility where they had been housed for about 9 years. DOC Director Brian Gutkin says the juvenile population has seen an alarming rise in violence, with more than 40% of the facility's young population affiliated with 2 gangs. Renovations made to Pine Hills years ago allow the sight and sound separation required to keep male and female juvenile populations separate. Well, let's turn our attention to the weather now. It was a pretty day out there today. How is the weekend shaping up? Meteorologist Jason Stiff joins us now with a first look at the forecast. Jason?
Definitely a mild day today, a lot of windy weather, and we're not done with that. We still have some lingering rain showers, mostly over far northeastern Montana. As you can see, near the Plentywood area, also getting closer to Sydney, just north of Glendive, a little bit of rain showers, but they're also moving rapidly into far western North Dakota. But then we train our eyes to the west, and here comes our next weather maker, already bringing some snow to the mountains of far northwestern Montana, some rain to the lower valleys around the Flathead, as well as the Bitterroot and the Missoula Valley, and we're going to have more of those potentials coming our way by tomorrow. But today, it was still a mild spring day for Billings with a high of 56 degrees, a lot of wind, and we're not done with that. Our 7-day forecast coming up.
Well, today is the United Nations' first annual World Day for Glaciers, and it comes as scientists say the huge ice masses are melting at an alarming rate, including Montana's. A new report from UNESCO finds that glaciers are retreating at a faster pace than ever before. The UN agency says the last 3 years have shown the largest glacial loss on record. Scientists say the amount of ice lost since 1975 is equivalent to an ice block the size of Germany with a thickness of 82 feet. Glaciers are a crucial source of drinking water for about 2 billion people.
The implications of this are multifaceted, which includes the threatening of the long-term water resources. So long-term water security is really at stake here. It's everyone around the world who's indirectly impacted from these dramatic changes.
The UN report says the dramatic global ice loss is expected to speed up even more because of climate change. Well, spring is officially here, and a lot of us are anxious to get out and enjoy the weather, people and bears alike. It's that time of year when bears are waking up from hibernation, beginning to look for food. According to Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks, it's also time for you to be prepared to encounter bears when you're out recreating. If you are heading out, FWP offers general tips like carrying bear spray and being prepared to use it, traveling in groups whenever possible, and planning to be out in the daylight hours. You should also keep an eye out for signs of bears, including scat, diggins, torn up logs, and partly consumed animal carcasses. Hundreds of women gathering in Billings today for the Junior League of Billings' 9th Annual Leadership Conference. That conference brings women from across the region together to grow, connect, and lead with confidence. The theme for this year's conference, Empowering Women, Empowering Communities.
I think have a unique perspective and an experience, and to be able to create a space where they can all gather together and learn from each other and share those unique perspectives. And I mean, I listened to some speakers today who have a completely different viewpoint of the world than I do, and being able to learn from them and understand them in a different way than I would, through another encounter. It makes it really personal and really powerful.
Topics such as leadership development, work-life balance, mentorship, and community engagement were some of the topics discussed today.